Associated Press firefighters work at the site of a deadly suicide attack in Jalalabad, the capital of Nangarhar province, Afghanistan on Tuesday. Syed Sakahuddin, Washington Post. Kabul, Afghanistan. At least 15 people were killed on Tuesday in two separate attacks by militants in Afghanistan as Islamic scholars gathered in Saudi Arabia to discuss the legitimacy of the Taliban's war against the US-backed government of President Ashraf Ghani. One of the attacks, by a suicide bomber, happened near a government security checkpoint on the outskirts of the eastern city of Jalalabad, where 12 people, including security forces and civilians, were killed, provincial officials said. Choice advertising in red invented by Tees. Start your day with the news you need from the Bay Area and beyond. Sign up for our Morning Report weekday newsletter. The second strike targeted government civil servants in Ghazni province, southwest of Kabul, a bastion for the Taliban insurgents. Several people, including a district chief, lost their lives in that incident, officials said. The Taliban said it was behind the raid in Ghazni. On its website, the Islamic State said its local affiliates carried out the Jalalabad attack, the latest of several strikes by the network in Kabul and Jalalabad in recent months. It also asserted responsibility for a wave of deadly strikes in the city, including last week, when 19 people, many of them from the minority Sikh and Hindu groups, were killed in a convoy heading for a meeting with Ghani in a secure part of the city. Officials said the Taliban unleashed a number of attacks elsewhere in the country in the past 24 hours ahead of a two-day meeting of international Islamic scholars that began Tuesday in Saudi Arabia. The Afghan government expects the gathering to term the Taliban insurgency and use of suicide attacks in Afghanistan as unlawful, as similar meetings have done recently in Kabul and Jakarta. The gathering comes amid shows of repeated optimism by Afghan government officials in recent days about holding direct talks with Taliban leadership after last month's brief and unexpected truce during the Eid holiday ending the fasting month of Ramadan. The Taliban refused to reciprocate an extension to Ghani's unilateral ceasefire and has conducted bloody attacks against government forces, drawing harsh criticism against Ghani for his move from his political rivals. The militants have repeatedly since said the group will not engage in talks with the powerless Kabul government until foreign troops leave the country. Speaking during a conference with visiting U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Ghani on Monday said the brief truce had opened an opportunity for peace in Afghanistan and that its 40 years of war cannot come to an end in one night or day. Commenting on the Saudi gathering, the Taliban urged the kingdom and the clerics to back the group in its war against US-led troops in the country, pledging to continue its insurgency until all foreign troops leave. The Afghan Mujahid nation does not expect authorities of Saudi Arabia and scholars to side with American invaders in this fight between Islam and disbelievers, the Taliban said in a statement. Our nation, due to Islamic Brotherhood, hopes that Saudi government will help and support our weak nation in this arduous time, the statement added. The Afghan Mujahid nation is still thankful to the Saudi Arabia for their assistance in jihad against the Soviet Union invasion. Sponsored content. People are cutting the cord. Reach them with connected TV by adults spend more than 10 hours and 45 minutes consuming media every day, with much of that screen time taking place on computers, mobile devices. You might also like 1 o'clock. Toshiba harnesses the power of tech for a better. Toshiba APAC How One development shaped Tokyo Intercontinental Hotels. Food. Singapore tourism on coconuts. Discipline first approach for Swedish Singapore. Job search. Jobs.